Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. I hope everyone's doing well. My project today is a gift box, and in my gift box is a bar of soap that I made a while ago. It's been sitting in my bathroom, that's why it looks a little knocked up. And the rose petals have kind of turned brown a bit, but that takes a little while for that to happen, so it's kind of been in my bathroom for a year. I should really use this, but you could fit many things. I'm going to probably put this in there. I could fit this in there with a bit of tissue, but lots of stuff would fit in here. The box measures 3 1/4 this way by 4 by 1 1/4 high. Alrighty, so this is a really perfect size gift box for lots of stuff. I use the Plentiful Plants stamp set with the Perfect Plants dies. I use the Scalloped Contour dies for this rectangle here, and the Messages die for this sentiment. Alrighty, and also Crumb cake cardstock. Okay, what we need for this is from Polished Pink cardstock. This is from the Messages die, one of the little die openings in that big die. We need a piece of Sweet Symmetry Designer Series paper that is 3 1/2 by 1 7/8. We need one of the Scalloped Contours dies. Let me just say, it's this one here, which is the it's the one right in the middle. It's 2 from the largest and 2 from the smallest. Okay, I cut this by accident because I had the 2 laying together and I didn't realize that I had cut 2 of them together, and this I cut the very top of it off to make it flush with the top. Alright, so we need 1 out of basic white, we need some basic white for stamping, and we need a piece of Crumb cake cardstock that is 9 1/2 by 7. I'm going to get my Simply scored, and we're going to start on the 9 1/2 inch side, and we're going to score at 1/2, 3 3/4, 5, and 8 1/4. Okay, and we're going to switch it to the 7 inch side, and we're going to score at 1 1/4, 5 1/4, and 6 1/2. And I'm going to fold and burnish. And this is what we want to cut out of it. Alrighty. Oops, there we go. Okay, so we're going to be getting rid of this square, this rectangle, and this rectangle, and this one down here, and the rest we're going to be cutting apart. Alrighty, so let's start with the skinny rectangle at the top and at the left hand side. Sorry, there's one at the top and one on the left hand side. So we're going to take this one that's at the bottom off and wedge a little bit out of the one above it. Okay, and then we're going to go to the other side of this rectangle and cut it straight. There's a square, go to the other side where that rectangle is and cut that straight, and then wedge a little piece out of each of the sides of the square. Okay, go to the other side of this longer rectangle, cut it straight, and then wedge a little piece off each side of the square. And what that does is keep it from sticking out the bottom when we glue it together, these two. Okay, so now we're going to flip it around, and the skinny rectangles are on the right and the top. Alrighty, so we're going to start on the lower left again, and there is a skinny rectangle and a square. We're going to cut straight up to the edge of the square. We're going to take off that top rectangle, and we're going to wedge a little bit off each side of the square. Okay, now this is going to be our flap, so we want to keep the other side of that straight. We need this rectangle as our tab, so we're going to cut one side straight. We're going to get rid of this skinny rectangle at the top, and then we're going to wedge a little bit out of each side of the square. Okay, now we're going to get rid of all of this that's left. Alrighty, so that's what we have left now. Alright, now we need the detail trio punch to round the corners of our flap. Okay, and you need a small circle punch. Let me just get this. I missed part of the score line I was taking out of here. I like to cut out the bumps of the score line so that it doesn't leave any bulk in there. All right, and then I have a 7/8 inch. Unfortunately, we don't sell these circle punches anymore. I'm just going to take a little finger hole out of there. All right, and that's what it looks like after you've done all of that work. Alrighty, so now we need some tear and tape, and I'm going to put it on the skinny rectangle that's on the side, up close to the score line. All right, and also the piece that has the flap here, directly under it, the rectangle on the inside of it. Because this is the flap that's going to go over last, be attached last. All right, so let's do this first. And then we're going to fold it and fold the other side to meet it. Okay, and then we'll close the top so that it's nice and square for us. And then we're going to put the sides in, the back, and then we'll attach the top, the front flap. Okay, and that's our basic box. Now you could do anything you want with it at this point. It's pretty versatile. You can make any colors with the crumb cake. But I'm going to use this rectangle first. What I did was I just cut off probably about 1/8 of an inch off the top of this rectangle. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to glue it flat on the box, leaving about, I'd say, 1/4 inch on the left, okay, and making it flush with the top. All right, so I'm just going to take my liquid glue. And just put it right on. Oops. Okay, just make sure that it's nice and flush right at the top there. Okay, and then I'm going to get my piece of Sweet Symmetry. Oops. I was supposed to attach these together first. All right, well, I'm just going to mark. Now, this piece is 3.5 by 1 7/8, but it's too long. But depending on where exactly you cut the rectangle off, that's going to change. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in here, and I'm going to make sure that on all of these 3 sides, there's the same amount of space. The 2 sides and the bottom. All right, and then I'm going to figure out where I want. It has to go right to here. All right. So this measurement will change depending on how much of the top of your scallop you cut off. So I didn't want to I just gave you a little bit bigger. So this is actually 3 3/8. I'm cutting this one too. Alrighty, but it might change a tiny little bit depending on where you cut. Alright, so then I'm going to put this in there flush. See, and then all the sides of the stitching will be equal. I'm just going to attach that with liquid glue also. And I'm going to make that flush on the top also. So you don't have to do it before. You just make a mark with your pencil if you glue it on first. Okay. Now we need to do some stamping. Right. So we need our basic white cardstock and the 3-leaved image from Plentiful Plants and the pot. It's the one that kind of looks like a terracotta pot, but we're going to make it pink this time. And we also need the Love You stamp from that stamp set. Okay, all right, let me just show you on here. So we're using this image, not the one with all the pieces, 3 leaves, this pot, and Love You sentiment. Okay, all right. And for the leaves, we're going to stamp 2 of them with garden green ink. So that's 1 and 2. Okay. And then with polished pink ink, we're going to stamp the pot. All right. And then we're going to cut this down after we stamp this label. All right, so we're going to put it long ways. And we need some Tuxedo Black Ink and the Love You sentiment. And I'm going to try to get the Love You as far to the bottom as I can. Okay. All right, and I'm just going to let that dry a minute. And I already die cut these 3 with the Perfect Plants dies. All right. So I'm going to need my silicone mat. And my glue. Okay. And I'm just going to put them basically kind of intertwined a little bit, just like that. Right, so I'll start with this one, and I'm just going to put a little glue on the front. And we want this one leaning towards this side. Alrighty. And then put a little glue on this one. And we're going to have this one leaning the other way. I might have put the glue a little high up on this one. Just going to wipe that down. Okay, just like that. And I just want that to dry a minute. And while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to get my little cutter. Oops. And I'm going to cut down, I guess this is 5/8 about, but it all depends on how low you stamp your sentiment also. So, okay, and then I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to attach this, again, flush to the top, I'd say over between 1/8 and 1/4 inch, and make sure that it's flush on the top. Okay. Now I'm going to get some dimensionals, and hopefully this is dried mostly. All right. And I'm going to put a bunch of dimensionals on here. I'm going to put one on there. Backing is coming off. Okay. One in the middle, and then one on the couple of the leaves. that are wide enough. These two together are wide enough. And I'm going to squeeze one on there too. Okay, so that it's nice and secure. Okay, and then I'm going to put it off to the right so that some of the leaves hang off. Okay, just like that. Alrighty, so now we can do some decorating. And I'm going to use some of the loose flower flourishes and some glue dots. And I'm going to put 2 of the large pale papaya ones onto the plant, wherever you feel you like. Nope, it's stuck there now. Okay, just like that. And then some of the 2021 to 2023 in color jewels in the polished pink. And I'm going to put a large one right there, a small one right there, and another small one down over here. And that's it. It's not really too difficult to do this, and this will fit a lot of different things, and you can change up your stamping and paper to make it for any occasion or any reason. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I love all the beautiful comments I receive, and I would love it if you would hit the like button. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload a video, you can hit the notification bell. If you'd like to buy any of these products from Stampin Up through me, my address is at the top of the screen, cathryn.stampinup.net. Thank you so much. I appreciate all the time you spend watching my videos. I will see you next time. Bye.